Hi guys, good to see you here today. This video today is going to talk about the DBQ that you guys worked on Monday, and we're going to focus on the skill of thesis statement writing today. Let's go to, okay, we're in time period 4. Okay, and so a quick review of time period 4, beginning in 1800 with the election of Jefferson, Louisiana Purchase, Napoleon's wars are going on, the Haitian Revolution, Louisiana Purchase, War of 1812, Era of Good Feelings, Missouri Compromise, Jackson, antebellum reforms, and sectional tensions. Y'all, this is a huge time period. Could definitely see a question, a DBQ question coming from this. So remember the new structure of the DBQ rubric, very much the same as what we've always done. So let's go on to what the prompt was, okay? So the prompt that you guys worked with on Monday said, evaluate the extent to which, okay, economic, social, and political developments between 1800 and 1844 fostered change in America. Okay, so if we think about those 3 types of questions, there are 3 types: comparison, causation, and CCOT. Which type of question is this? I'll wait for you guys to answer. Okay, yeah, it's continuity and change, but it's asking you only about change, and it does ask you the extent to which, okay? All right, the good thing about this type of question is it gives you the 3 categories it wants you to talk about. Now remember, in your thesis statement, you cannot just say there were economic, social, and political changes. Nope, not going to work, okay, but we'll look at that here in just a minute. Okay, you had 5 documents. The first one was about from Thomas Jefferson's first inaugural address. I'm not going to go over each of the documents. You guys, on Monday, your assignment was to come up with context, outside information that would help you to better understand or explain these documents. All right, so let's go to, all right. So these were all the documents, okay? Now, if you think about organizing the documents, that wasn't part of your assignment, but anyway, you would want to think, okay, does this document help support or explain a political change, a social change, or an economic change, and then organize them that way. And I like it when they ask you that because it makes the categories easy for you. Okay, so if we were writing a thesis statement, okay, maybe something like this. In the early national period, after the War of 1812, America experienced a rise in nationalism and expanded its territory. These changes brought significant desire for social change and expansion of the economy and political challenges as a result. Now, there's something missing in this thesis statement. I wrote it, and now I'm seeing what am I missing? What is the first part of that prompt asking you to do that I did not do in that thesis statement? I'll wait for your answer. Right, I did not evaluate the extent to which. So in other words, of these 3, okay, which one was the most significant? You might want to go with political change, but there's no right or wrong answer to this. Remember, so you might want to say, although, okay, these changes brought a significant desire for social change and an expansion of the economy, the political challenges that came as a result of these changes were the most significant. Something like that, okay? But again, there's no right or wrong answer to that. You can pick whichever one. Just make sure you're addressing that part of the prompt. Okay, so what you are going to remember, another thing that you might want to do that would help you to get the complexity point is if we started here and we could say something like, oh, that's messing me up. Let me go back. Okay. We could say something like, although there were continuities, okay, or talk about what stayed the same. Okay, and then you have a paragraph, a couple of sentences that talks about what stayed the same. Okay, you might want to go back. If we think about what was going on, let's go back to the very beginning here. Okay, if we go back to what is going on during the time period, okay, think about what's going on. How about this one? How about this, era of good feelings, where we talked about, it was called that because technically there was only one political party, the Democratic Republicans. But if you think about it, the tensions that had existed from the beginning between the North and the South, right? Okay, over the issue of slavery, those issues are still there, right? The continuity is that the North continues to be the industrial section of the country, even though we're expanding to the West. And going to be linking to the West. The South continues to be agricultural in nature, dependent upon a large labor force. That labor force is going to be slavery, and the tension over the politics of whether free or slave is going to be in control is a continuity that exists during this time period, even though it's technically called the era of good feelings. So that would be something that you could talk about as a continuity that is really not a change in all practicality there. So there may be other things. That was just something that came to my mind as something that was a continuity. And remember, if you were to add that as a paragraph, that shows complexity of thought and would get you the complexity point. Remember, these questions are not going to ask you if it's a cause and effect question. It's not going to ask you about the causes and the effects. It's only going to ask you about one of those. And if you can also talk about the other, that gets you the complexity point. If it is a comparison question and it is asking you about similarities, and you can also add a paragraph and talk about differences, that gets you the complexity point. And in this example, since it's a CCOT and it's asking you about changes, if you can talk about continuities, that gets you the complexity point. So I would challenge you to put that in a thesis statement. Okay. All right. So your assignment today is a different DBQ. All right. So your challenge and your assignment today, which you'll have that assignment posted in Google Classroom, and you'll have your own copy for that, is to look at another DBQ and you're going to write a thesis statement. So good luck with that. If you have any questions, just email me or Miss Leaton, and hope that you guys have a great week. Bye.